Hey everybody, welcome back. This is Leah from Leah's Library, and today we are going to have some Pete the Cat stories. I've just recently discovered Pete the Cat by James Dean, and they're really fun books. There's many of them at the library. You can go and look them up and find them. He has several different stories, and they're a lot of fun. So today we're going to read Pete the Cat, Robo-Pete, and Pete the Cat's Train Trip, and then Pete the Cat, Pete at the Beach. So let's go ahead and start with Pete the Cat, Robo-Pete. Look at that cool robot. Here we go. What a great sunny morning. Pete can't wait to play baseball with his friends. Do you want to play catch? Pete asked Larry. I can't, says Larry. I'm going to the library. Do you want to play catch? Pete asks Callie. I was about to go for a bike ride, says Callie. Do you want to play catch? Pete asked John. I can't right now, says John. I have to paint the fence. Pete wished his friends would do what he wants them to do. It's no fun playing catch all by himself. If only I knew another me, Pete thinks. And like that, ding! Pete had a great idea. Pete builds a robot. He programs it to be just like him. Look at that. He's got a battery, 12-volt battery, a memory chip, nuts and bolts. Wow, that Pete, he's a smart cat. Welcome to the world, Robo-Pete, Pete says to the robot. You're my new best friend. We'll do everything together. And I want to play catch, says Pete. Great idea, says Robo-Pete. Pete and Robo play catch. Wow, says Pete, running after the ball. You sure can throw far. Robo-Pete throws farther and farther. Until time out, Pete says as he tries to catch his breath. Let's play something else. I want to play whatever you want to play, Robo-Pete says proudly. How about we play hide and seek, says Pete. That will be fun, says Robo-Pete. Pete finds the best hiding place ever. He's sure Robo-Pete will never find him. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, shouts Robo-Pete. Ready or not, here I come. Gotcha, shouts Robo-Pete, tagging Pete. How did you find me, says Pete. With my homing device, said Robo-Pete. I can find anyone, anywhere. Okay, enough hide and seek, says Pete. Let's play some guitar. Pete teaches Robo-Pete how to play a song that he made up. You have to feel the music, Pete explains. Okay, says Robo-Pete. To feel it, I need to play loud, explains Robo-Pete. Pete tries to stop Robo-Pete, but Robo-Pete can't hear him over the noise. This is fun, says Robo-Pete. This is awful, says Pete the Cat. Okay, says Robo-Pete. Let's ride our skateboards instead. Before Pete can answer, Robo-Pete's feet transform into a motorized skateboard with super speedy wheels. Let's go, Robo-Pete shouts. Wait, called Pete. Look at that. He's got a jetpack on his back. He's going to go really fast. Pete chased after Robo-Pete. He has no idea where Robo-Pete is going. Robo-Pete crashes into the sandbox at the playground. "Are you okay?" Pete asked his robot. "I am a robot. I am indestructible," says Robo-Pete. "What is this strange place?" "It's a playground," says Pete. He waves to his friends. "This is Robo-Pete," Pete says to Callie, Larry, and John. "I made him myself." "Cool," says Larry. "We are going to help John finish painting," says Callie, "and then we were going to go bike riding." "I want to go on the slide," interrupts. Oh, I forgot that's the Robo-Pete. Okay, let's try it again. "I want to go on the slide," interrupts Robo-Pete. "Robo-Pete, I want to help my friends paint the fence," Pete tells Robot. "Paint the fence? That would be great," Robo-Pete says. "I am programmed to paint faster than anyone." Pete and his friends try to help, but Robo-Pete just paints too fast. So instead, they ride bikes and they read books. And after Robo-Pete is done painting, they help him clean the brushes. Pete realizes that it doesn't matter what they do, just being with his friends is what makes it fun. The end. That was a really good story. Boy, that'd be a good way to have a robot, right? Just to have him do the chores and then you could go play with your friends. I like that they helped him clean the brushes when he was all done. They all worked together really well there. All right, let's move on. Pete the cat's train trip. Look at that. He looks like he is driving that train. Pete the Cat's Train Trip by James Dean. Pete the Cat is going to visit his grandma. He gets to ride on a train. Pete's mom buys 3 tickets. She gives one to Pete and one to his brother, Bob. Pete looks up at the big board. "Our train is leaving at 10 o'clock, he says. A train speeds by. "That's a cargo train," Bob tells Pete. Look, can you read what this clock says, what time it is? The little hand is coming up on the 10. It's not quite at the 10. The big hand is on the 8. So that would mean that it is 9, 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, 35, 40. 9:40. Their train is going to leave in 20 minutes. It's 20 minutes until 10. For some of my older kid friends out there. Pete's train has arrived. "All aboard!" calls the conductor. Pete's mom finds 3 seats. "I can't wait to see Grandma," says Bob. "I can't wait to explore this train," says Pete. The conductor comes to collect the tickets. Pete hands over his. "I love trains," says Pete. "I'll show you around," says the conductor. Well, that's nice. Pete follows the conductor from car to car as the floor rumbles under his feet. "Wow," Pete says when they get to the caboose. "We're going over a bridge." Pete sees his mom and Bob. They are at the snack bar. I got this for you, says Bob. Thanks, Bob. That was thoughtful of you. Pete follows the conductor. He goes to the front of the train. Come in, says the engineer. Whoa, he gets to see the engine. Wow, Pete says. The engineer shows him the engine. The engineer shows Pete the train's brakes. There's a tunnel up ahead. Do you see the tunnel? Let's see here. Go. There's the tunnel. As they go through the tunnel, Pete gets to honk the horn. Toot, toot! Everything is light again. Thanks for showing me around, Pete says. On his way back to his seat, Pete stops and makes new friends. They live in different towns. They are getting off at different stops. There's a little chick and a hen and a couple of cows. Pete plays games. A little kid wears his hat, and Pete sings a song. What a groovy ride. A kid is also the word for a baby goat. So that's kind of cute that they made the baby goat a kid as a kid wearing the hat. We get off at the next stop, says Pete's mom. Toot, toot! Pete looks out the window and sees Grandma! Pete's the first one off the train. Pete's grandma gives him a big hug. It feels good. Pete loves riding the train, but he loves his grandma even more. Look at that. He drew her a nice picture of the train. The end. Thanks, Pete. That was a groovy train ride. You're right. So now, let's take a trip to the beach. Let me adjust this camera a little bit more so I can get up higher. That way I'm not blocking off the top of the picture for you guys. All right, let's see if that works better. Oops. Pete the cat. Pete at the beach. It's a hot day. Pete the cat goes to the beach with his mom and his brother Bob. Let's go in the water, Bob says. Maybe later, says Pete. Bob likes to surf. He rides the big waves. It looks like fun. I'm hot, says Pete. Go in the water, says Mom. Maybe later. Pete makes a sandcastle. His mom helps him dig. Here comes a big wave, and there goes Pete. I'm starting to think maybe he doesn't like the water so much. Oh no! Where did his sandcastle go? Bob rides a big wave. Wow, says Pete, that looks like fun. Pete and his mom take a walk. They find seashells. They see a crab. See a little crab in there? Pete's feet get wet. His feet feel cool. The rest of him is hot. It is time for lunch. Pete eats a sandwich. He drinks lemonade. The sun is very hot, and Pete is very, very hot. Bob is wet and cool. Let's play ball, says Pete. No thanks, says Bob. I want to surf. Pete throws the ball. His mom catches it. Let's get our feet wet, says Mom. Well, okay, says Pete. Goodness, excuse me. All right, let's try that again. Let's get our feet wet, says Mom. Well, okay, says Pete. The water is cool. It feels good. Pete goes in deeper. Bob waves to Pete. I want to show you how to surf, he yells. Pete does not say maybe later. He says, let's do it. Nice job, Pete. Lie on the board, says Bob. Pete lies on the board. Paddle, says Bob. Pete paddles out. He waits for a big wave. A big wave is coming. Stand up, says Bob. Pete stands up. Then Pete falls down. It was scary, but he did not hurt. Try again later, says Bob. Pete wants to try again now. He's not ready to give up yet. Pete lies down again. He paddles out and waits. Here comes a wave. Pete stands up. This time he rides the wave. Good job, says Bob. Pete wants to surf all day. Bob does too. So they take turns. Pete and Bob rock and roll with the waves. What a great day. It is okay to be afraid, but it is more fun to surf. The end. There you have it. Pete the Cat. Introducing Pete the Cat. I'm very fond of these books. I like the way they're written, and I like Pete, and I like Bob. So if you want to read more by Pete the Cat, please go to your local library and check him out. Like I said, there's a lot of different Pete the Cat books. All right, have a great day. Thanks so much. I'll see you again soon.